Okay, so in front of us is an Alienware Area 51M. This is revision 1. This laptop unfortunately has no power. If we try to power on the laptop itself, nothing happens. And I should note that this is also a symptom even when we plug in the charger. Again, nothing happens. And if we plug the charger into the next ports, again, nothing happens. So we can see that this laptop unfortunately has no power, and it's also not a battery issue. Or at least I don't think it's a battery issue, I could be wrong. Anyways, because this laptop has no power, we're going to do our standard diagnostic checks, and we're going to open the laptop up and check for a short as well as any missing power rails. Okay, so as you can see, we have the laptop apart. The first thing that I notice is we have an i9 9900 desktop CPU, and we also have a socketed RTX 2080. So you may notice that the RAM is missing. This is because I've actually already removed it and used it for testing purposes, but I'll put it back later. Anyways, like all the broken electronics we get, we want to first start by checking for shorts on the externally supplied power rails, and then take a resistance measurement of the power rails generated by the device itself. To start with, we're going to check for the 16 volt rails. There are two of them, at least past the input MOSFETs, and that is these two here. So if you're wondering why there's two instead of say just one, this is because this laptop actually has two AC adapters. As you can see, two cables here. So this rail corresponds to the AC adapter on the left from your view, and this rail corresponds to the AC adapter to your right from your view again. Checking these two 16 volt rails, we should see 55 kilo ohms more or less. 55, yep. And checking this one, we should have again about 55. Okay, that's good. So okay, now we want to be checking these inductors here. They again, these carry 16 volts, and they're used to supply 16 volts for the CPU vCore and integrated graphics and all that, as well as the GPU vCore and memory, and probably 1.8 volts in packs as well. Anyways, checking this inductor, we have 0.7 ohm. So we have a short on this 16 volt rail, which explains why our laptop isn't powering on, because it's detecting likely it's triggering overcurrent protection and refusing to power on. We're going to check the various power rails on the card before we get to our shorted components. So firstly, I'm going to take the CPU out as a simple factor measurement. We're going to take a measurement of the various power rails connected to the CPU. So to start with, we're going to check the vCore, and as you can see, we have 9.5 kilo ohms. That's fine. Now we're going to check, I'm actually not sure what this is, but we'll just check it anyways. About a mega ohm and dropping from the looks of it, so very high, that's fine. Now we want to check these two rails. I believe they connect to the CPU, I could be wrong. So checking the one on the right, this is a 1.06 volt rail-ish. So we have 3 kilo ohms and rising, so that's good. Now we want to check this rail. So again, I think it connects to the CPU as well. Again, we have above 10 kilo ohms, so that's good. Okay, now we want to check these two inductors connected to the battery if it was plugged in. As you can see, we have something very high, probably above 100 kilo ohms, so we'll leave it at that. Now let's check actually this over here. So there's an inductor here. This is for the audio board, by the way. I've actually never checked this before, so I don't know what it's going to be, but we have above 10 kilo ohms, so that's good. And now let's check 5 volts. So 1.2-ish or 1.3 kilo ohms. Yep, that's fine. Okay, so as you saw, we have a short on one of our 16 volt rails over here. I should note that the 16 volt rail is used to power the CPU vCore, as well as various parts of the GPU, including the GPU vCore. Typically speaking, at least on a graphics card, whenever I see, let's say, a short on the high amperage, high voltage rail, it's usually due to a dead power stage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook up my power supply, set it to 0.7 volts, and then I want to see if I can trace what path current takes on its way to ground. In particular, what I'm trying to see is whether it passes through the CPU vCore or, say, GPU. At 0.7 volts, I can see that the laptop is taking 2.47 amps, and in fact, it just keeps rising. Okay, so I actually want to take a slight detour before we go back to the repair. So one thing that I always notice whenever I hook up my power supply to a shorted, let's say in this case 16 volt rail, is that sometimes you get these cases where the current consumption at the power supply continues to increase in a relatively steady manner. When we first started with this clip, we had 2.59 amps, and now we're at 2.66 amps, as you can see. If you're wondering why this is sometimes kind of useful, though admittedly not that useful as a diagnostic tool, it's because it kind of more or less suggests what components current is passing through on its way to ground. If you don't know, there are certain components on, let's say, any electronic device, whether it's a laptop or graphics card, that suffer, that at least can suffer from a condition called thermal runaway. Basically, there are two parts to thermal runaway. The first of which is very well known, but the second is a little more obscure. So the first part basically states that as a component consumes more power, it gets hotter and hotter. Pretty much everyone knows this. The obscure part is that for some specific types of semiconductors, and including transistors by the way, as they get hotter, they also consume more power. So what essentially is happening here in this case is that whatever component current is passing through on its way to ground is getting warmer, but because it gets warmer, it then starts consuming more power, which means it gets warmer, which means it consumes more power, and this keeps cycling and cycling. And I can tell you, like I said, this will likely continue to increase until it plateaus or maybe kills something that it shouldn't. Anyways, so off the top of my head, the three components that I can think of on a, let's say, the three main components on a laptop that can suffer from thermal runaway are CPUs, GPUs, and chipsets, and this is typically what I suspect whenever I see this, but it goes without saying that transistors and other semiconductors are perfectly valid as suspects. Given that this is a high-end gaming laptop, where I would say about half of the power, if not more than half of the power, is consumed by just the GPU itself under full load, my suspicion is that we have a short on the GPU. So, what we're going to do in order to say, narrow it down, is we're going to check for a short on our 16-volt inductors, but we're going to do it after unplugging the card. Now, if we check for a short again, we had 0 ohms just then and there, and now we have, well, as you can see, 1.3 mega ohm, well, something very high. It'll take a while to get an exact value, but it's definitely not short, which tells us that the GPU itself is the source of our short. So anyways, let's go ahead and take the GPU out of the laptop and then try to determine which component has gone bad. Okay, so as you can see, we're looking at the card itself. So I should know that in this case, we don't really need a multimeter, and that's because, as I may have mentioned earlier in this video, the thing about these Alienware Area 51Ms is that they're rather famous for having the graphics card catch on fire. And in this case, it has actually caught fire, because if we turn around and we look at, say, the shunt resistors, we can see that whatever component that got shorted pulled enough current that it actually killed the shunt resistors. We can see the burn mark in the middle. So right off the bat, we kind of know this is going to be a V-core power stage. In fact, not only is it a V-core power stage, but I can already spot which one. I'm not sure if it'll be visible on camera, but it's pretty obvious to me. So anyways, we'll try to replace the V-core power stage and see if the laptop becomes any more functional. Okay, so as you can see, unfortunately when the power stage died, it fused itself to the board. This is not a problem as we still have the remainder of the pad left and we can just solder on top of that. Okay, so as you can see, we have the RTX 2080 installed. I should note that we only have one thing left to do. So after you replace a power stage, you can't just assume that it works. You have to actually verify this. So I've replaced the broken power stage with one that I know actually works. So in this case, all we have to do is verify that it turns on, which we can do using a multimeter and by measuring the switching frequency at the first pad of this inductor over here. Anyways, let's power on the laptop and measure this. Now that the laptop is on, let's measure the switching frequency. This should be 300 kilohertz. Yep, 305 as you can see. So which means that we're done. Anyways, let's go ahead and put the laptop back together and stress test it. So as you can see, the laptop works without issue. It's currently running games, Subnautica of course. So as you saw, all we had to do in this particular laptop's case was replace the power stage that was dead on the graphics card itself and replace the two shunt resistors. As some of you may already know, I typically don't do these kind of repairs anymore, at least on video, and that's because they're extremely basic and extremely simple. I feel like I've already covered this topic to death, computer won't power on, in my subtitle for my graphics card repair videos, and I hope you at least learned something when I mentioned thermal runaway. A lot of semiconductors like GPUs, CPUs, chipsets, they consume a little more power when they're warm, and you can verify this with a multimeter because they will have a lower resistance on the PEX 1.8 volts or say memory rail. Anyways, if you're wondering why my somewhat messy desk is currently in view, it's because I'm now a Twitch streamer. So if you want to watch, let's say, more graphics card repairs, I Twitch stream my repairs currently on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday. My schedule's not set yet, but basically 4 days a week. And I've actually already gone through more graphics cards on Twitch than I have on YouTube in the 2.5 weeks I've been streaming. And so far as I can tell, people seem to like the stream. I have 440 followers, which is I think pretty good for a 2.5 or 3 week old Twitch channel. Anyways, If my videos on my channel has helped you out, consider maybe subscribing to my YouTube channel, following me on Twitch, sending me a repair request through my website www.techcemetery.com, as I now run an LLC dedicated to fixing graphics cards and laptops. Otherwise, I do hope you learned something as usual, and hopefully I will see you in the next one.